this going and fair and clean. Oh, I'm on the microphone. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning. Hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, sweetie. I like your thumb, too. Getting ready to. This is the prelude. Thank you.
I think I'm sophisticated 'cause I'm living my life like a good Homo sapien. But all around me, everybody's multiplying till they're walking around like flies, man. So I'm no better than the animals sitting in the cages in the zoo, man. 'Cause I'm care to the flowers and the birds and the trees. I'm an ape, man. But I think I'm so educated, so civilized, 'cause I'm a strict vegetarian. But with the overpopulation and inflation and starvation and the crazy politicians, I don't feel safe in this world no more. I don't wanna die in a nuclear war. I wanna sail away to a distant shore and make like an ape man. I'm an ape man, I'm an ape man, oh I'm an ape man. I'm a King Kong man, I'm a voodoo man, oh I'm an ape man. 'Cause compared to the sun that sits in the sky, compared to the clouds as they roll by, compared to the bugs and the spiders and fly, I'm an ape man. In the man's evolution, he's created the cities and the motor traffic rumble. But give me half a chance and I'm taking off my clothes and living in the jungle. 'Cause the only time that I feel at ease is swinging up and down in a coconut tree. Oh, what a life of luxury to be like an ape man. I'm an ape man, I'm an ape man, oh I'm an ape man. I'm a King Kong man, I'm a voodoo man, oh I'm an ape man. I look at my window but I can see the sky. I want to get out of this city alive. City life, and make like an ape man. Oh, come and love me, be my ape man girl, and we will be so happy in my ape man world. I'm an ape man, I'm an ape man, oh I'm an ape man. Woo! I'm a King Kong man, I'm a voodoo man, oh I'm an ape man. I'll be your Tarzan, you'll be my chain. I'll keep you warm and you keep me sane. We'll sit in the trees and eat bananas,
Just like an ape man.
I'm an ape man, I'm an ape man, oh I'm an ape man. I'm a King Kong man, I'm a voodoo man, oh I'm an ape man. I don't feel safe in this world no more. I don't wanna die in a nuclear war. I wanna sail away to a distant shore.
Hi, nice smile.
And make like an ape man.
Welcome. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Chattanooga. I am the Reverend Mandy Goheen, and I am so honored to be the person who serves this congregation and gardens the spiritual life a little bit around here, specifically on Sunday. I want to invite everyone to join me, no matter if you've ever been here before or you've been here 100 times. We're kind of light in the crowd today because it's a holiday weekend. So the fact that you came here on your holiday weekend, I just want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being here. In the event that there might be a fire drill today, wink, uh-oh. I want to just point out that there is an exit for all of you beloveds kind of in this corner, and you can walk straight down. And we're going to meet in the back of the parking lot. Also, there's an exit. Also, because we're so beloved, if there were a fire drill and you needed help, let's help each other. So, and in the case that that might happen, we'll gather at the back of the parking lot. In the case that that might happen, RE is going to do their own fire drill, and they'll be down in the playground. Parents don't need to get, no. Lower parking lot, okay. Parents, everyone downstairs has that under control, even though I didn't know where they would be. And we'll see what happens today. Welcome to the wonder of this place. Welcome to a place that is not on land owned by us. Welcome to a land that sometimes we refer to as stolen land. In that spirit, please join me in the land acknowledgement. At UUCC, we acknowledge that our church sits on Cherokee, Muskogee, and Yuchi land. We are a people in covenant with each other, not with some divine Santa Claus in the sky or otherwise known. And in that spirit, we use our covenant to stay in relationship and lean into the love of the world. Please join me in reading our covenant. We journey together, bound in the interdependent web of existence. We embrace diversity, own our conflicts, and assume good intentions. When we fail, begin again in love. Justice and compassion shall be our watchwords, and beloved community our goal. This is a pretty special day. We're celebrating two things. Caden, will you come join me? And I get to say a little exciting things about you for just a second. Let's find a microphone because you need to have a voice here. Is this on? Yeah. Okay. So Caden not only joined our church as an adult 2 weeks ago. Caden also graduated from high school, and why that's so important to me is there is cake after the service for all of us to celebrate that graduation.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Now, I asked Caden, in the spirit of that adulthood in this church and the leadership it represents, if she would help us light the chalice today. And she's going to do the whole thing, so we'll see what...
Well,
take
actually...
What do you want me to do? You want me to light it while you say the words?
Well, actually, Mandy, I want to light it and then distinguish it.
Oh, you want to do both? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I want to do both. Not
Okay.
say the words.
I'll say
I
the
changed
words.
my mind.
Perfect. This is a church of freedom, of decision, and choice. And now we are lighting the chalice. Please join me in the chalice words. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. How's it going? Oh, you got it. Yes, the chalice is lit. Thank you. Good job. Woo! I'm going to light an additional candle and ask us all to take a moment of silence as we hold the peace in the world in our hearts, as we pray for the end of war, as we pray for all prisoners to be released. Thank you for joining me in that intention. And now, with great joy, I invite you to rise in body and or spirit and join this awesome band in singing our opening hymn, Here Comes the Sun, George Harrison.
Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say, it's all right. darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I said, it's all right. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I said, it's all right.
Sun, 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 here we come. Sun, 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 here we come. Sun, 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 here we come. Sun, 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 here we come.
Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I said, it's all right. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun. It's all right. It's all right.
Yes! Please be seated. If you are little or in a mood to sit on the ground, you are welcome to come up here. Hayden, yes, yes, yes. I'm going to walk around today just because my gracefulness getting up without the altar right there is a little sketchy. So we're going to use our imaginations today, okay? So get comfortable the way you're sitting. You all just get comfortable too. There's going to be a moment where I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. I want you to remember that everything here is by consent, and if you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, that's cool too, okay? And the name of this story is Indra's Jeweled Net, a traditional Buddhist and Hindu story. Far, far away in the abodes of the great god Indra, king of heaven, hangs a wondrous vast net, much like a spider's web in intricacy and loveliness. It stretches out indefinitely in all directions. Who's seen a spider web?
Me.
I thought so, yeah.
I think cobweb.
Cobwebs, that's kind of an old retired spider web, just for your information. And you know how the spider webs cross? That's called a node. So at each node or crossing point of the net hangs a single glittering jewel. Since the net itself is infinite, that means bigger than we can explain, the sparkling jewel hangs there suspended and supported by the net, glittering like stars, dazzling to behold. Now here's the close your eyes part. Ready? Now let's close our eyes. All of you, if you're interested, close your eyes and imagine what this magnificent jeweled net looks like spread across the vast expanse of space. Now keep your eyes closed and move in close to one of the jewels in the net. Look closely and you will see that the polished surface of the gem reflects all the other jewels in the net. Infinite numbers, just as two mirrors placed opposite of each other reflect an image of infinity. Each jewel reflects in the gem, that is you. You are gazing into also reflects all the other jewels. And so that process of reflection itself is infinite. Now open your eyes, if you want to, and know that you are a sparkling jewel in Indra's net, as every person around you is. So kind of look around at all the sparkling jewels. Every jewel is connected to the other jewels in the net. Every person is intimately connected with all the other persons, not just in this room, but in the whole universe. That's a lot of people, right? Even more than we might know, because we don't know what all is in the universe yet. So, a change in one jewel or one person produces change, however slight, in every other. Realize, too, that that is infinite. And reflection speaks to the illusionary nature, yes, thank you, of appearance. Appearances are not, in fact, reality, but only reflections. The true nature of things is not to be captured by its appearance. However powerful that appearance might be, it is only a reflection of what's real. In addition, whatever you do to one jewel affects the entire net as well as yourself. You cannot damage one strand of a spider web without injuring the entire web. Has anybody poked a web? I have to admit I poked a web. It destroys the whole web. And have you seen the spider come and try to fix it, but it looks a little different afterwards? Yeah. So we can't damage one strand of the web, that is the universe, without injuring all the others, whether that injury is known or unknown to them. This can work for good or for ill, of course. Just as destructive an act of one spot as the entire net. So to do loving and constructive things to the net, that love also spreads throughout the net. A single helpful act, even a simple kindness, like even saying good morning and I'm happy you're here, will send positive ripples across the infinite net, touching every jewel and every person in existence. What in Unitarian Universalism does this remind you of? Anybody? Come on. Of interdependent web of all existence, right? And so a lot of times when we think about the interdependent web of all existence, we forget that it's not just people that are part of that web. And sometimes we forget that it's not just animals. So we have to remember that it's all the things. And here's the really interesting and confusing part about this story. Are you ready? The thing to go think about. Indra, who made the net, is the net too. So both is real. Both the things that you do to lean towards the goodness in your life means that you're part of the net and you're causing the ripples. And there's a question about whether we have choices or not about how we impact the net. And some of us believe that everybody has free will to do what they want. And others believe that it's a determined thing in a way that it winds up by who your parents are, where you came from, what you learned in school. And so what I'm going to challenge you to do is to remember that when you are loving the world, you're impacting the net in a positive way, and not just the person you see in front of you, but it continues to ripple out. So next time you say hi or good morning or give me a hug, remember that is starting a ripple in this net that is who we are in interdependence in Unitarian Universalism. And now, we'd love to sing you out to go to religious education. We are being flexible because of the band, and I enjoy not standing up there every once in a while. So thank you for being up there. I appreciate you. I also, there's the clicker. Okay, so this is the part of the service where the kids have mostly gone downstairs. We got some amazing babies up front. This is a part of the service where you're invited to come forward and share what is on your heart, whether that be a joy or a concern. How you're invited to share that is this. You're invited to take at least one rock, stone. I think these are glass. I don't think these are really rocks. And you hold it, and you let it have what's in your heart, good or bad. And then when you're done with that, you put it in the communal water that represents this congregation holding that for you. Now, as I say every Sunday, if you take an extra rock and put it in your pocket and bring it back next week and use it to put all that stuff in for the week, that's amazing too. If you forget your rock, no judgment. We know where there are lots of these in this church, so we continue to use them. The other part of this is you are invited to receive a hug from me. This is purely optional and up to you. Also, at the end, if you're not comfortable to have come forward and be in front of the cameras or up here, just raise your hand very small, and I will drop some rocks in for you as well. So now I'd like people to just take a moment. We're going to hear some amazing music, and just come up here, and I'll be over there for hugs if you choose.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be, no, no. Where did all the blue skies go? Poisonous the wind that blows from north and south and east.
Oh, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be. Oh, wasting on the ocean, on our seas, fish full of mercury.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be, no, no. Radiation underground and in the sky. For animals and birds who live nearby are dying.
Oh, mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be. What about this overcrowded land? And how much abuse from man can she stand? Oh.
a stone dropped in the water?
I do.
You do? Okay. I should have looked behind me. That's you? Okay. All right. I see you. I'm good at seeing out of different directions in my eyes because I have a lot of kids. So, and then I always think that there are some things in our hearts that we're not ready to share or even acknowledge. So I like to put a little bit of extra here. And as I hold this, I want to say that no matter if you come up front or you stayed in your seat, if you hugged or didn't hug, if you are skeptical or a true believer in whatever Unitarian Universalism might be today, I hold you in that. This is us. This is our communal water. Join me in a time of prayer. Spirit of love and life, hold us not only when we are in this space practicing love together, but hold us when we are outside the net, the safety net that this place is, and a place where we need support. Remember that we are part of something bigger, something that leans towards love. May it be so, and blessed be. And now, imagine someone smelled a little smoke. We're imagining. And it is time for our fire drill. Yes, what? It is only a drill. I want to remind you the exits are here. And at the back, we will gather in the back parking lot. Woo, woo, woo. Fire drill, not real fire. I will use this water, yes, the water of our community. Woo, woo, woo. Oh, phone. Woo, woo, woo. I probably had way more up my sleeve than you expected with all kinds of things, Dadey. Woo, woo. Woo, woo. Woo, don't grab your things. Remember, we're a fire drill. You leave not your babies, but your stuff behind. Woo, woo. Yay. Look at how gentle and loving this is going. Yes. Unless someone is hiding in the corner. Are you going to check the bathroom? Oh, you're going to check the... Will you check the office? Thank you. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, woo. Is that the Holy Spirit? Woo. I think Judy's the last one out. Oh, lock the door. Oh, there's a dog media dog drill. Woo, woo, woo. No, it's not. The instrument is there. Want a fire drill, buddy? I do. Thank you.
Now we know the AC works if you turn it down.
Mercy, mercy me. Yeah, yeah. Okay, everyone. Can I have your attention? Great job. Woo! Remember, this exit comes in handy for all kinds of things. Now we're going to go back in, and I'm going to attempt to preach a sermon following this. So, and great work. Thank you. Is anybody missing? Oh, you were missing. I saw him. At least, thank goodness we get to say hi. I'm trying to say hi, Doc. Yes. Doggy. Fire dog. Right. She is. Everyone came to see me. Wow. They had a parade at that church. Oh. Should done that. Woo! Yep, the humidity is outside. Whew, mercy, mercy. Oh, and now I'm loud again. I'm always loud. They're coming. It'll take us a moment. You want a different bat? Dad didn't work out. Whew.
Yes, I agree.
You know what we call it? We say we got hotted up.
I forgot my most important thing was going to bring a kitchen towel to wipe it off.
That's right. That's almost a preaching. Oh yeah, I need a preaching white.
Yeah, I usually bring a towel.
Yeah, I don't go to those places. It's against my.
All right, if you do, I'll be there at 4 in the morning. Sometimes 4 or 5.
Okay. Is it welcome? No, it's enter. We were just contemplating the song, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, and I was like, wasn't I already here if I was singing this song? Maybe. That and other big questions. I just want to say thank you so much. That was lovely and orderly, and I know that the body needs practice to do things in the event of emergency, and this is just really good for us to have that memory of what to do next and how to help each other. It is likely the same people might not be here next time, but a lot of you will, and you will know the drill. Sorry, that was terrible, terrible joke. So, who here has heard of hungry judge syndrome? Judge syndrome. Oh, good, I found something you didn't know. Okay. It's rare. Oh, Steve is looking it up right now. Okay. Thank you for being that. He's my information checklist human in this church. So the hungry judge theory is that people who go before parole boards are more likely to be released after lunch than before lunch. Let's think about how Snickers has used this against us in candy bar commercials and given us words for what this state is, which is called hangry. There are many other reasons and many other factors why judges pick to release some people and not others. It is common that women are more strict than men, and it is also a biophysiological fact that even if the judge doesn't realize that they're hungry, it's still something that tracks. Now, people have disproved this because I think it's a social experiment, and you can do things all different kinds of ways, but it got me to thinking, what if we are more loving when our belly is full? Who believes that? What if we are more loving when we have rested well? We've been talking about that, right? What if we are more loving when we are in spaces where we practice being more loving together? It's a continuum. When I first came to Unitarian Universalism, I was in what we call in the business, the dark night of the soul. And what I've explained before about the dark night of the soul is it is a spiritual darkness. It is not a psychological. It is not, sometimes things are hard in your life. It's not the same thing. It is a spiritual dryness and lack of understanding. And so I did what good Unitarian Universalists do, or good Catholics, because I didn't know how to be a Unitarian Universalist. And I made an appointment with the minister to go to coffee. And I said, Reverend Nancy, tell me, it just seems so weird that I have free will and I've made everything in my life happen. And what if, how can this all not have happened for a reason? How can I have randomly met some guy at a Grateful Dead concert, then he joined the Air Force, adopted 6 kids, blah, 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 seminary, how? And kids who I've always felt were always my kids before I knew, how does this happen? I don't believe in a divine entity that's sitting up there and has time to worry about what's going on with me. I mean, that would be busy. Can you imagine, if God was like, okay, and today at 3:30 in the morning, the dog will bark. You will fall over the dog. I just think that there is a divineness that has more to do than think about whether I wear a green dress today or not, right? So her answer surprised me because I had found such openness in Unitarian Universalism to say that there wasn't that preordained figure, Santa Claus, God, making cars wreck together. I'd moved past that, right? I'd moved past things happen for a reason. In fact, I have my own saying about that. Things happen and we make meaning and reason out of what they are, right? And so when she told me, what if you're wrong and things do happen for a reason, I made the assumption that this had to do with a divine entity and God. And just this week, I finally figured it out. Maybe, but I don't have to be right, just for the record. We have students come from Chattanooga Christian Academy every year to interview me about what Unitarian Universalists believe are evil, which always I'm like, well, one year I said certainty. If you're certain about what you need or someone else needs, that's no good, right? The next year I said attachment to suffering. I mean, I've rolled through the whole Rolodex. I'm always starting to speak big theological words and they kind of blank out. And they're like, yeah, but what do you believe? Do you believe that people are bad? You just told me you believe in universal salvation and that everyone gets in. Well, then how do people make bad choices? Aren't people just the choices? Isn't there something bad pushing them towards bad choices? You mean it's all their own responsibility and accountability when they mess up? And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty hard, isn't it? And they're like, yeah, that's pretty hard. We have to be good around here because we have a covenant and we're practicing love and we know we're going to mess up. So anyway, I went and I kept digging, and there are a few sources of truth that I find comforting, which is Psychology Today and Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm not going to lie. Hence the stars. And so I was watching, I was like, what does Neil deGrasse Tyson think about free will? And when I heard that he believed that there was no such thing, I was like, wait a minute. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Brain, you mean an astrophysicist doesn't believe in free will when he believes in chaos? I don't understand. And so I watched his several of his discussions with people like Bill Nye, the science guy, who I also implicitly trust. He talked to many, many different biophysiology, atomic, blah, 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 all the people who understood why the judges were hungry. All those people. And he taught me about hungry judge syndrome, thank goodness. So I listened to him and I was like, I still just don't buy this. How can it be that I believe that every action has a reaction? How I have a belief in what Einstein said about the theory of relativity. And then I found out Einstein didn't believe in free will either. Wait a minute. But it isn't from the perspective of a God who's in charge and dictates whether people are happy or miserable. It has to do with biology and generations of trauma and generations of resilience. It has to do with destiny, which we actually participate in. If we think about Indra's net, and we're each a jewel on that net, and we are infinitely reflected over and over and over again, it makes sense that something that happened to our mothers influences us even though we did not know them. Now, I want to say that at the end of this, a person who doesn't believe in free will is called a determinist. Found that out in the scientific term. I also found the coolest thing out. I'm a soft determinist. Don't you love that? That you don't have to be a binary. I don't have to be this side or that side of philosophy. I can be in the soft space in the middle and continue to reject the idea that there are binaries that we have to adhere to when we focus and figure out our beliefs, not only about ourselves and gender and trees, and there are in-between things that happen, and that is actually a more comfortable place for me to rest. In Buddhism, we call it the middle path, right? It's a place of, yeah, that happened, it sucked, okay. It doesn't define who I am. It doesn't define my behavior. I've learned from it. I've cultivated it into something different, and I've moved on. That is called resilience. I have not become attached to that bad event or that bad thing, the thing labeled bad that might really, if you pull back on this big view, might not have been as bad as we thought. When I do that, I have an openness to soften my understanding. And that's why I like that soft determinism. I just like that it's not wishy-washy, honestly. It means we do have an opinion and we think about what's going to happen next. Einstein said some really interesting things when he said, when asked about personal responsibility for his own staggering achievements, he points a steadfast finger at the non-existence of free will. I claim credit for nothing. Everything is determined, the beginning as well as the end, by forces over which I have no control. It is determined for the insect as well as for the star. Human beings, vegetables, or cosmic dust, we all dance to an invisible tune, intoned in the distance by a mysterious player. Still a little bit of God in that, I'm not going to lie. There's where my okay, maybe. He goes on to say, I believe in intuition and inspiration. I sometimes feel that I'm right. I do not know that I am. When 2 expeditions of scientists funded by the Royal Academy went forth to test my theory of relativity, I was convinced that their conclusion would totally tally with my hypothesis. I was not surprised when the eclipse on May 29, 1919 confirmed my intuition. I would have been surprised if I were wrong. I'm enough of an artist to draw freely from the imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Hear that? Einstein. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world and the word. I claim credit for nothing. Everything is determined, the beginning as well as the end, by forces over which we have no control. Interesting that is Einstein, right? Interesting that in my quest to escape the idea that things are preordained, that science would hold me in my understanding. I find a lot of comfort in science, specifically in the science that these are theories and they can be unproven. I am certain that I have experiences of awe and wonder that take over me and move me in ways that I can't describe, specifically in conversations with people. Specifically when I feel something that is bigger than I am moving between us. Relational theology. We are I and thou. We are not separate. We are all interconnected, and we all ping that web sometimes in one way or another. What I do believe is possibly not free will exactly, but also one of the things that Tyson brought up in his talk was how 500 years ago, the thing that I am doing right now in this space would have gotten me burned as a witch. Right? How people who had epilepsy and other brain dysfunctions were taken to priests for exorcism and often killed by the cure. The idea that a woman had a brain and was functional beyond her moods and her hormones. Because we heard that even in our lifetime, right? I remember my grandpa saying, well, there can't be a woman president. She has a period. And I was like, that is a lot, Grandpa. I don't really want to talk about that to you. Anyway, we are changing and evolving, and our understanding is evolving. So when we say we know something for certain in the coming weeks, if you think you know for sure, A, what evil is, or B, what good is, or whatever is, it's probably not a mistake. In fact, it's not a mistake that all of you are here today on a holiday weekend hanging out in this place. I mean, there is a band, trust me. There is that lure in the universe, and that's process theology, that we're kind of lured into good. And if we follow that lure into good, we can be good humans and create that. And if we follow the lure into evil, blah, 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 go to prison, right? But what is the most amazing about all of this, and what is the coolest, is when the students were here, what happens every year is they take a picture of that question mark in the back. Every year. And every year I come away from that conversation understanding more about Unitarian Universalism than I did before, because it's not often that we're questioned so deeply about where the evil comes from in this. And where the evil comes from is biology and the place you were born and your culture. Suddenly it makes abolition of prison start to make sense. And it changes our social responsibility to others, and it lets us identify the privilege that we are born into. Wow, we're lucky to be American. I mean, not in a way like, wow, I'm lucky I have a home, I have a church, I have all these things. It's a really incredible context to be in. And it doesn't give me the privilege, though, to judge what somebody else might come to in the context they were born into. That's when we get into the weeds of exceptionalism, which I'm going to talk about next week. Because there are weeds with this, right? There are always questions. There are rarely answers. And if you can't figure it out, remember, Neil deGrasse Tyson will always be there for all of us. May it be so, and blessed be. This is time for our offertory. And money is pretty real, last I checked. We've been doing a lot of work around here, working on the budget, trying to predict what programs and staff will look like next year, the ways that this church is growing. You know, 2 weeks ago, well, in the last month or so, we've welcomed 18 new members to this congregation. On the books. That's incredible. We are growing, and we'll expand in ways that we don't know. And as each time somebody new comes to this church, we are all changed. We are all changed by that membership. There's a way to support the idea that there's a space in Chattanooga where you are welcome to question everything and to think freely and to be led by the people, not the minister. And this is that place. So as the plate goes around and we listen to a really good song, think about your generosity as a citizen in this space, and think about how important it is to support freedom of religion right here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and how that ripples throughout Tennessee and the world. And with that, the offering will be gratefully accepted.
And as you consider how much to give, John Mowbray kind of got together with Pink Floyd. You should really listen to it.
You can get up and dance as you give money if you want.
Money can't wait to count the dough from the collection plate.
Yes!
Money, just a tool. We use it to help you chaps stay cool. UUCC needs our love and care. We've all got something to share. Money, I'll plead, help us to grow our beloved community. Money, no chips. We'll do tons of do-goody good with it. UUC needs our love and care. We've all got something to share.
That was so fun. Thank you. Thank you for making giving just a blast, and it rocks, right? Please join me in our offertory response, which is the mission of this church. We give these gifts freely, committed to our mission to care, create beloved community, awaken hearts and minds, resist injustice and act with compassion, embrace life and care for the earth. To this work, we dedicate our offerings. Well, okay. Whew. I'm excited to invite y'all to please stand and sing a hymn, hymn, hymn. Please stand for the beauty of the earth.
For the beauty
for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. The joy of here and now, for the heart and mind see light, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise, for the wonder of each hour of the day and of the night. Hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sister, brother, parent, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thoughts and mild. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
So what? Am I on? Yeah, okay. I can't hear myself. Oh, I hear myself. So what? So last week, someone who I don't see here today, but I might be wrong, had joined our church, and when they came in, they said, the minute I walked into this place, I felt like this poem was speaking to me. And so I don't know where this come from. I even looked it up, but it's probably in the Buddhist tradition, once again, like that connectivity, that nudging together. And it's called the salt doll. A salt doll journeyed for thousands of miles over land until it finally came to the sea. It was fascinated by the strange moving mass, quite unlike anything it had ever seen before. "Who are you?" said the salt doll to the sea. And the sea, smiling, replied, "Come in and see." So the salt doll waded in further, walked into the sea, more dissolved until there was only very little of it left. Before the last bit dissolved, the doll exclaimed in wonder, "Now I know what I am." We belong to a special community here, even if you've only been here once. We belong to a tradition that has fought and loved for collective liberation and for freedom of religion, and in understanding that we are part of an interconnected web of everything, that we are on a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, and I want you to remember that responsible part. That responsible part means not at the expense of others. That responsible part means that it is your journey and I honor it. The responsible part means that I'm the minister and I get to provoke thoughts, but I do not get to tell you what to believe. In fact, you don't have to believe a thing I say. The music is really good here. And that is so what for today. And now I'd like Caden to come on up. Oh, woo! This baby is smiling at me while it sleeps. It's kind of melting me up a little bit right here. Woo. You ready? Can you find the oh, yeah, you found it. So please join us in the chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but keep the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. It's announcement time. This is like our sacrament, if you haven't been here before, is to have announcements, and we always have lots going on. But the first thing I want to clarify is it has been traditional on Memorial Day that we do a Memorial Garden blessing. We had a fire drill, and we're having a party. So that is being moved till next week because some very brilliant people who are part of our board went, but our Memorial Garden isn't about people who were in the military, and we can do it next week. So I was like, cool. So we will do that next week. If you have some water to bring from home or something special to place in the Memorial Garden next week, I encourage you to do that. We will be outside singing, rain or shine. Bring your umbrellas if it's going to rain. Bring your voices. And if anybody is interested in helping me do that little ceremony after service next week, please let me know. Your participation would be very welcome, especially after I've talked all this time and then talkity-talk outside again. So that will be next week. It is important. It is our ancestors of our church. It is the foundation of the seeds of money that came long ago that made today happen. This is beyond their wildest dreams. Less dramatic announcements now welcome. Yay, okay. I lost the mic.
Hello. Is this on?
I don't know.
Is it on? Yes?
Oh.
Hi, I'm Jen, she, her. We had our first meeting of the Earth-Based Spirituality Group last Sunday, and it was so great that we're going to do it again. It will be next Sunday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. right here in this space. And also next week after the Memorial Garden rededication, we'll be having our Books and Beyond group. If you signed up for that, if you didn't sign up, if you could let me know if you're coming. And bring your own lunch, and we will have some desserts and drinks for you. Thank you.
Two short announcements. First, despite being Memorial Day tomorrow, we will still meet for yoga at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. So join us, come here. It's all on a donation basis, 6 p.m. in the sanctuary tomorrow. Second, as you have the band here, I want to kind of announce on June 7th, so that's in 12 days from now, Tropic Soul with Dylan Kussman, with Roger Davis and John Littlefield are performing, you wouldn't believe it, at Nightfall. Woo! So in our support of them and just having a good time, let's all get together, meet there at 6:45, June 7th, 6:45, Nightfall, at the Miller Plaza. Bring your camping chairs with you. Let's get an area together. Bring your UU t-shirts if you got some, and let's have a good time. So you will still get the announcement over that the next week, and that will also be kind of one more chance that we see John Littlefield performing before he, in wise advance of the elections this fall, is moving to Canada.
Oh, I knew it. I knew there was a reason. Is that it?
If you can give the credits to them.
Oh, we have another announcer. You carrying?
Hi everyone, Emily, board member. I'm just announcing a artist reception. I think our first ever artist reception that we are having on June 9th, so not next Sunday, but the Sunday after. Put it on your calendars. It'll be directly after the Sunday service, and we'll have some nice new art on the walls and our first ever art reception with lots of snacks and refreshments. Thank you.
So there's much more than this going on around here, as you have caught on to. Please read your newsletter. That's why we send it. It's kind of informative, has a calendar and all the stuff. If you don't get the newsletter, when Farron's done doing this lovely thing, we can put her a Post-it note with your email address on the door for the office. I want to just say how amazing today's music was. And I also want to say about 3 years, I bet this one had no idea being office administrator would wind up being in a band. If you're here long enough, you might get to be in a band. That's that. So thank you to John and Roger, and all the people, Christian and Adrian and Lynn, Chris, yes. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause now. One more song, but listen, on the way out, don't forget to greet your neighbor and say hello to those who've been here with you today. Just a little hi and a handshake. If you are new around here, I am happy to either talk to you about this congregation. I think you got a pretty good picture of it today. I think that this is how we roll, and I just want you to feel free to ask me or any of the members of this place if you have any questions. Also, finally, I just want to say I was really praising people who became members. This is a free church. Membership is not required. Community is inevitable, though, if you come here long enough. So stay tuned for annual meeting coming up. Lots of exciting things in the coming weeks. And I don't know why I'm saying this before they play, but our service is over. Let the dancing begin. How does that sound?